Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Well, hello, welcome to the Monday KVJ After the Show Podcast. Yeah. Not sure what y'all did over the weekend. Mine was pretty chill after cocktails and karaoke. July's pretty much, July and August. This is like, now I'm starting to get in a groove now. I start to kind of like realize like every single month, like what's going on. You know, for me, I'm a huge football fan. So bam, from, even probably I'd say almost middle of August, because they kind of start really getting into training camps and all that kind of stuff. And that's all I'm watching and paying attention to until what? I mean, you're talking basically February. And then after that, then there's like spring training and all that kind of stuff. So it's like I'm starting to realize that if I'm going to really watch anything anymore, like it's got to be like the month of July is my month. It's just freaking crazy hot outside. And, sometimes like the queen doesn't want to go outside because it's too hot for her.
It's the kind of heat that does instantly make you angry. If you're already kind of in a bad mood, let's say you didn't sleep, and then you go outside to go get something out of the car, and you hit the sun, you're like, oh, fuck you, sun.
It really does feel like you've stepped into a sauna.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's a little unsettling. Yeah, it's probably a good way to put it. So, so we just do a lot of binge watching stuff, so I was able to get through that show Safe on Netflix, which is pretty good. Somebody was like texting me on it saying there were some plot holes in this and that, and they texted me back. I'm not going to tell you what the plot holes were, but I was like,
So you guys watched the series Safe and you dodged the sun. Pretty cool weekend.
Yeah, honestly, to be... For me, I loved it because it's like I slept. I just kind of chilled. Sometimes I just got to be calm. So our weekends, a lot of times can be kind of crazy. We run around a good bit. Like I even noticed today, like my voice is just kind of. It's like I can see it feels kind of strained.
It needs to be rested.
Yes, yeah. I gotta just sometimes anymore. I just gotta kind of chill. Because, I went out on Wednesday on 4th of July like it was a Saturday and hit Los Olas, and it hit me back.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, staying home and chilling, if you're a person that has a busy schedule and you're always out and about, when you have time off, it's very nice to do nothing. That's what you work for, is to have peaceful moments.
Well, and the thing I like is like when you have something, and when it comes to watching something, I hate feeling like I wasted my time. Be like, it's kind of garbage. But when I watch something that's good and everybody else is talking about it, I like kind of knowing because there are so many like references that will come up and stuff. And if you haven't seen it, like you don't get jokes or you just don't understand.
But you got to have the bad with the good, though. You do. When you see a shitty movie and then you see a good movie, it makes you like that good movie a lot more.
Yeah, but it's just like when your time's limited, you want to really minimize the shitty.
I hear you, but sometimes you can't.
You can't. You're right. That's why for me, a lot of times it takes a credible reference or a lot of people talking about something, and then that's sometimes where I don't mind. Even if I don't love something, but everybody's still talking about it, then I'm like, okay, I'll invest the time. Stranger Things is one of those things. I'm glad I watched the first season. I didn't watch the second.
But you're glad you watched it. You at least know.
Yeah.
Now you know what everybody's talking about.
Yeah. And I don't feel a reason to go rushing into, season 2. And then there are other shows that I kind of watched, but I kind of fell off of. But I'm kind of glad that I watched them because I know the characters and I know a little bit about it. Like Empire is one of those shows on Fox. I can't remember. I watched maybe 2-3 seasons of that, and then just I don't know.
Same shit happened to me with Power. I was always talking about Power because I was watching it, in bulk. And by season 4 or whatever, it just got too over the top for me.
Yeah,
too much love storylines that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, that was the other thing I jumped into this weekend was Power because so many people talk about. Yeah, I got through first season. I'm probably about halfway through the second. And, I like it.
It gets a little over the top.
Well, the one thing I'm realizing is, it's all kind of fun and it's fun, but man, they just throw sex scenes in like for no reason. And when you got like a kid just walking around the house, it makes it trickier. Well, it's because it's like, and it's out of nowhere. It's like, we're just sitting there and they're like, somebody's like in the kitchen making toast, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. All of a sudden, bam, people are fucking. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? I'm like, yeah, you're trying to, and he's like covering his ears, and I'm like, bad dad, bad dad. I'm like trying to change the channel, and I'm like, was it a point where you totally didn't expect it?
A lot of porking.
The same thing happened to me this weekend. I've been binging Anthony Bourdain because they've been showing a lot of his old shows since he passed away. And he was doing this one episode, I forget what town it was in, but there was like these porn people that were showing him virtual reality porn where you put the glasses on it and then you experience the porn like it's right there and you're living it.
I don't know.
And right as soon as he puts on the porn glasses and they start showing the porn stuff, Magnolia comes trotting in the room, and now it looks like I'm watching specials about virtual reality porn. Right. She looked at me like, Mom, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's kind of it. I know. You're like going,
I swear it's a travel show.
Yeah.
Cooking.
I know. It's like, and I get it. I mean, most people wouldn't want it. That's why they don't do it. But it's like, for me, I wish they had they took shows and they had the sanitary version. Just give it to me that way.
Oh, that would fucking suck.
No, I'd be okay with that.
Said the guy with no kids.
Yeah. I'd be totally cool with
kids,
that.
I'd be like, all right.
Kids need to learn about porn. I know they're 2, but they need to learn about porn.
Not about that. I just would hate watching something. Anytime I watch something on TBS and I know that it's got swear words and...
Well, I mean, but the sex scenes that they've got, too, in Power, I mean... They're not like, some sex scenes, you're like, oh, okay.
It's softcore porn.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's just, good Lord. And they're like extended. You're like, all right, how much?
A lot of
I feel like I watched the entire session.
HBO's like that, too. I mean, if you watch True Blood or Game of Thrones even, there's some serious just pounding going on.
Yeah, really? Okay. Interesting.
One scene with the Mother of Dragons in the first...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm on that. I'll see if anybody's got any recommendations. You say to jump off Power at the end of the second season, you think? So my wife has seen it. She's still watching it. They just had the new season premiered last Sunday.
I wouldn't listen to anything I have to say.
Yeah, no, I was just if anybody else got any take on that. Because, it is, like, for me, like, I quit Orange is the New Black, and I'm glad I did. And I just, it got to a point where, for me, I was like, all right, and I've talked to a lot of people that quit that show. They're just like, yeah, it just kind of sucks now. It got so ridiculous.
I think it might have fizzled for a lot of people. I see a lot of people saying that they were like in it in the beginning, but now they're like, eh.
Yeah, I think season 1 and 2 was great for a lot of people, and then they're just like, no, it just got stupid. And it was like, all right, sometimes too, you just have enough of something.
Right, and then the storyline runs its course.
Right.
And so anything else you do past that, it's like, okay, now it's a new incarnation, and it's not as good as the original concept.
And if there's a betrayal of the character where they start doing something that doesn't seem in their character, you're like, that's fucking weird. I don't know if that's why people were mad at some of the Star Wars stuff. It didn't line up with what their character was.
Well, this is why I really like Safe. It's the Netflix show that I watched that had Michael C. Hall or whatever, the guy from Dexter. It seemed like everything, like it was needed. There wasn't like a bunch of and I was so thankful that, I mean, it looks like it's completely wrapped up. Because I'm like, that's so nice. Like 8 episodes. Ends with a clip. I mean, if you had to do a formula for a great Netflix show, to me, that's it. Like 1 season, 8 episodes, 45 minutes, end each episode with a cliffhanger. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to the next one.
Yeah, I'm so trained now for all these shows. If it doesn't have some kind of holy shit moment at the end, I feel like I'm about to sneeze and I didn't sneeze. I feel unsatisfied.
It reveals something great. You're like, oh, what is that? And it's just like, yeah, that's how you do it. So if anybody else checks it out, let me know. Yeah, I had one text today that somebody's like, oh, it's got plot holes. And I was like, I don't know if that's a plot hole. Let me see. You got another email here from Lala, longtime listener. Said, I listen every day at work, in the car, at the beach, etc. You guys are great to listen to. I'd love to come out for cocktails and karaoke soon, but I got a question. What is going on with Jaybird's dating life?
Well, let's get into it.
Is he seeing anyone? Is he looking? Does he want to find someone? He just seems like a really great guy. I don't understand why he's single.
These are fantastic questions.
It's highly overrated.
It would also be interesting to hear the reasons why he thinks he's single. Now, that may be the question there. Why does he think he's single? I think that when he finds the right person, all of whatever flaws he comes up with will love him for who he is. All thanks for reading. Yeah, some great questions.
Bird, I mean, only you can answer these questions, but we all crave to learn.
I think the one question that maybe we haven't overdone time and time again is, why do you think you're single?
I think that I don't know, man. There's
you know,
there's many reasons.
Open your heart, spill the beans.
I think there's a part of a fear of a commitment, I think. And not that I'm afraid that I'd want to get somebody else. It's a person. I'm afraid to be in a relationship where I'm not happy and there's a lot of pressure. And on top of having this job, which is a lot of pressure, I don't know if I'm good at being.
The constraints of your job are enough. Adding more constraints to your life, you don't know how much free will you'd have left.
Yeah,
and time.
I just feel like having this job, which I love, is already a lot of anxiety and pressure. It just is.
It takes a lot of time. And imagine this, and I could see this. Like, for instance, over the weekend, you and Denny's and his wife, Jen, you ran up to Orlando to go to a toy store because you wanted to find a figurine. Now, imagine if he had a girl be like, I don't know, it's kind of stupid. Like, I don't want to do that.
Well, I would never be with a girl that's like that anyway.
Yeah.
A girl, if I was going to be in a relationship, she would be there with me.
And could you say that maybe that's part of it? It's hard to find everything you want in a girl and also have somebody that's that carefree and that happy-go-lucky, that it's like, yeah, screw it. I'm up for whatever.
I think there's a lot of reasons why I've remained single, especially the last few years. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I have felt in the past like I had failed to meet up to that pressure, and it made me feel like a bad person.
Yeah.
It made me feel kind of shitty. And it wasn't, I mean, that's on me. That's on my own way I look at things, but I just didn't like the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. And
you felt like you weren't living up to what your expectations of a good boyfriend should be? Is that what you're saying?
Partial, yeah.
Because you were being told that?
No. I just think that I am. I think some people are not designed to be with somebody in certain moments.
A loner, Dottie? A rebel?
I didn't think I was when I was younger.
What about maybe like on time? Somebody like you're dating a girl and she's like, hey, I would really like to have some time with you, and you're like going, gosh, I got a project I'm working on, this or that.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, but you can't, like, I think we're boyfriend girlfriend. Like, you can't make this. Like, I don't understand. Do I not mean anything to you? Does it matter enough to you?
It totally puts a spotlight on me focusing on me. And when I lay in bed at night, knowing that's true, I feel guilty about that. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that it's hard for them too, because I'm always working on a fucking song that nobody gives a shit about.
And they want more and they can't get it, and then they're frustrated.
Yeah, it's never about me wanting to sleep with a bunch of people, and that's never the issue. I think sometimes I don't know. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can without sounding like a complete dick face. I just think that I think I've failed in the past. And I don't want to fail. Right now in my life, right this second, I don't need that pressure in my life, because it's a lot of pressure and it's very time consuming. And it has to be something you want to put up with. I know that sounds terrible, but like if you and Panda are in a fight, you want to work through that. You want to make it right. You want to make sure it's.
I think both of us have that same attitude where we want to make it easy for the other one.
Yeah,
we don't want to have drama.
Yeah, I don't want to cause pain for anybody. I don't want to make anybody upset, because that makes me feel terrible. Then I'm shitty at my job. I'm terrible at everything at that point.
Yeah.
I just think I worry about that kind of stuff. I've been in relationships before. There's been times where I've had a girlfriend that I've not brought up on the air because it's caused drama in the past. I didn't want to fuck it up, and they didn't ask to be in the public eye, so I don't want to, make their life uncomfortable. Plus, I'm a fucking weirdo.
How many secret girlfriends have you had?
Since I've been on the show,
yeah,
where you guys haven't known about it,
yeah,
it's like serious girlfriends. I probably had 2 serious girlfriends you didn't know about. Not right now, though.
I knew you were a man of mystery.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I
is that easier to keep them a secret?
Well, you don't have to hash everything. You don't, and then like when it ends, you don't have to be like, well, the
That's
why.
what it is.
And
the ending is what I mean, things end, and most times they don't end really awesome.
Well, that's the thing. If they're ending, it's a reason they're ending, and it's usually dramatic or somebody's sad and mad or both.
And it's never like I'm afraid they're going to go out and say anything. Because usually, you know, at least as I've gotten older, people that I think got involved with, I'm still friendly with. Now you'll get an email, bird's a fuckface, whatever.
But I probably wrote it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
makes
really,
sense.
I really don't know.
Okay. Well, that's good, upfront, honest answer there.
Yes, we like the insight. Peel back the layers, onion of mystery.
And not to say that I'm not open to love. I don't want people, because I think sometimes I'll make jokes about people being married and walking the plank and all that. And a lot of that's for comedy. If somebody is the right person for you, I highly believe in marriage. Denny's and Jen, they're soulmates. They are perfectly the right kind of personalities to be married to one another.
Yeah.
I've said this for a while. You need a hippie chick. You need a girl that nothing bothers her. She's just mellow, laid back, peaceful, loving.
I think honestly, everybody. I think we'd all like that. I mean, I don't know. We'd be like, well, nah, I like somebody that's difficult. And,
Panda wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
I think he prefers like an older woman that kind of takes charge,
really?
like I do. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but I just know for me, I don't like arguing about stupid shit that doesn't matter at all.
Right.
It does nothing to help the world whatsoever.
And a lot of girls argue about stupid shit.
Well, just relationships in general is always sitting down. You hurt my feelings, so let's talk for 3 days about how you hurt my feelings and how you need to change. It's just how.
No, right, absolutely, I get it.
That's a lot of patience and a lot of time, and you have to be full gorilla. And you're right. I'm fucking sorry. I'm terrible. What can I do to change? And I've just seen so many of my friends go through that, and they're exhausted.
Yeah,
they're tired.
Well, because you don't feel like you did anything wrong, and not at least to that level, and. You know, it's, again, that the checking account thing is the best thing. You got to make withdrawals, deposits, whatever. But if you make more withdrawals than you do deposits, and so oftentimes in relationships you do, where it's like, because that's a big deposit to take out 3 days of like we're dealing with. So you got to have like 6 days of awesomeness together to make up for the 3 that was aggravating.
And I'm like you. When something weird or dramatic happens in a relationship, whether it's a friend or whether it's a girlfriend, I like to get it over with. I like to address it, apologize, really mean the apology, and let's move on. I don't like when things go on for about something that doesn't.
It's stressful.
It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. And that's it's a lot of shit to put up with.
Yeah. Carlos said, hey, guys, I got to thinking today. You know how just some days you just feel great. Well, I was wondering, what are some of the best feelings of yours and the listeners? I'm not talking about the feeling of your son being born or you hitting the lotto. I'm just talking about average everyday life. For instance, I love the feeling of waking up in the morning to not only my day off of work, but a day when I have no obligations either. Just the feeling of waking up to a lazy day. Is there a better feeling? What are your thoughts on some of the best feelings throughout everyday life? Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's, I get what you're saying there. Yeah, that is, when you wake up and you don't have anything that's scheduled or planned, that's awesome. I think the other thing, too, is sometimes waking up to knowing you've got something awesome. Like when I wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, like today I'm going to a football game or something like that. Like I'm completely like jacked. You're like, this is going to be awesome as hell.
I love when I'm just waking up naturally at like 8 a.m. There's no alarm set. There's no nothing. I'm just waking up like a regular human to sunlight. Like that is so fun to me.
To me, when you're sitting on your couch and the air kicks on and you know you have snacks in the refrigerator, to me, that is the
and you're getting ready to put on a movie you're excited to see. Yeah.
It's just, it makes me feel so cozy.
It all comes together.
It does. It comes together.
Yeah. That's a good thing. For me, when it's like the end of a busy week and I feel good and I just sit down for the first time and they just put that beer in front of me and I'm just like, okay.
Especially when you're drinking the beer and the first buzz, like that feeling starts to kick
or just even the first drink is like, because I definitely have moments where it's like, I don't really feel like drinking a beer right now, but then other moments like going, if I don't have a beer like in a minute, I feel like I'm going to punch myself in the nuts. You know,
if you do that, please make a video.
Oh, I will. And so, having that, and then the first taste is just absolutely unbelievable. You're like, oh, this is so great. That's a good feeling. I think after working out is weird because there's a moment I don't dread more than going into the gym and you're like going, I'm going to kick my ass or my ass is getting kicked today. But probably one of the best things is when you're all done and you're like going, okay. That's a good feeling.
It is. But there's a high that comes with that.
Yeah, but it usually takes, you got to get home and get showered and then be like, okay, now I'm done with every obligation. You're like, okay, now I can just chill. That's a good feeling.
There's certain things that you have to do and you have to do that are so uncozy. I get so bummed out when I know, all right, I got to go floss. This is going to be just 5 minutes of just annoying bullshit. Shaving. I getting gas. Those things, I get really annoyed. I'm like, fuck, I got to get gas. I got to shave.
Good feeling when you first get done, though. Engineer Keith has an email about wild dogs. Said you're wondering about wild dogs in Africa and the difference between them and house dogs. The simple answer is wild dogs are feral. House dogs are domesticated, and some feral animals can become tame. You can go to the Stuff You Should Know podcast and check out how animal domestication works. Yeah, because some people try. And they just can't figure out why that baby bobcat bit the shit out of them.
Or like that family that thought they found kittens and then they realized they had little baby cougars.
They've been raising cougars.
Yeah.
That was so awesome.
That thing's really hungry.
Like, why are these things biting the end off of all the nipples that we're trying to give them milk through?
Why does our kid have no fingers? Oh, the baby cat?
Susan from Seattle said after hearing Jaybird's reaction to the peekaboo ice cream, you should have Jaybird try to guess the peekaboo ice cream with hidden vegetables versus two others of similar flavors, like the peekaboo chocolate and cauliflower versus Breyer's chocolate and Ben & Jerry's chocolate.
I won't be able to do it. I'm not good with vegetables.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to do that well.
Well, we've done the taste test of vegetables. I got to think them all wrong. Everything else, I'm great with the tasting test. You gave me like a fucking beat.
You gave me an email this weekend, Kevin, of a tasting thing that you want. When do you want that? Because I'll make that for you.
I got to check the schedule, but it might be tomorrow, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bought all the ingredients. I'm just waiting for you to give me the word.
This sounds secretive, and it sounds secretive towards me.
Well, somebody sent us a recipe for how to make a hot dog slushy.
Oh, I saw that.
With hot dog water.
I saw that. That looks fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
I'll puke my eyes out.
It looks next level repulsive.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hot dog water slushy. They're calling it a great drink for the summer.
Oh, they're fucking with you.
Joke. Yeah, it's a joke, but it's awesome.
Let's see here. Santina said, hey, heard y'all's segment about ticket prices the other day. My husband and I went to Wellington Cinemas 8 off Wellington Trace and spent $16 for 2 tickets. Just $8 a ticket. It's no movie co. Definitely a more outdated theater. We practically had the theater to ourselves, seeing Jurassic World when we couldn't even buy tickets at Regal because it was sold out.
Well, there you go. I mean, if you've got kids, the kids don't know the difference. That is a much more affordable ticket price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I drove by the Lake Worth drive-thru the other day, too. I've never been there.
I have. I saw Bolt there.
Okay.
In the back of somebody's truck. It was cute. It was fun.
It's kind of a cool little experience.
Yeah, because you get like this little speaker that you put like on your window, and it's kind of cool.
When I was a kid, I remember that we used to do that a lot. We had a couple drive-ins in my little podunk town.
That would be a novelty, fun thing to do with the kids.
Right.
And then you bring snacks, you bring a blanket, you turn it into fun. Maybe get like a blow-up air mattress, put it in the back of the pickup truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I've had some good times at the drive-thrus. Did a lot of good stuff there.
Well, I bet. Mm-hmm. What else have you done at the drive-thru?
Oh, Virginia.
Heavy petting Kev.
Oh, Virginia.
Drive-thrus are perfect for hand jobs.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Shelly said, how does Denny's come up with his joke jury jokes? Are they all original or does he borrow some?
Denny's!
How does that go down?
Good question. What's his process?
Oh, he's OG.
How does...
His process is go home, smoke a shit ton of weed, and write some weird shit down. It's really,
seems to work.
That's completely the process.
Yeah.
There's a question about your creative process.
On writing jokes. What do you do and how do you do it?
Well, you start off, I mean, you find a nice calm place and you smoke a bunch of weed.
That's what I just told them.
You got to make sure it's real nice, the temperature's right.
And that's the secret.
That really is.
Do you do it by yourself or do you do it with a friend?
So with any writing process, I like to be by myself, complete silence. I like to alter my state of mind a little bit just to kind of get some, like, you know.
There is something about it. It does kind of kick up creativity a little bit.
It allows you to think a little more abstractly. You'll think of, like, either punchlines. And for any creative writing, you'll think of things just a little bit different than you normally would in a sober state. So it is kind of, I think it's kind of nice to kind of shift your mind state a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when you sober up, you can go back through and make sure it makes sense.
You said that before about when you have, even with drinking, like that there's that perfect little spot. And it is weird. There is a spot when you're drinking you want to do creative things.
Yeah,
but I do more Fireball instead.
And then
I get too drunk to write.
You can get too drunk to the point where you're not there.
The problem is trying to maintain that perfect state. You're trying to keep it, but the more you drink, you start losing a little bit of it. And the same with if you don't get to that point quite enough, you lose it as well.
You have 2 drinks and you're like, oh, let's write something. You have 4 drinks. Oh, some pussy.
Yeah.
Let's get some.
Yeah. It's one drink away.
Your options change.
Yeah.
Your desires.
Yeah. Well, it's getting a lot more controlled and specific now. I think, with booze, and I was talking to somebody that it's kind of like on the same level of Denny's with weed, where it's like he knows pretty much exactly, like with an edible or whatever it might be, a gummy. And kind of the same thing. He's like, and he'll lay him out. It'll be like going, I have this, and then that's it. And he'll have them like even on time things, like a timer goes off and says, and he finds he puts himself into a great creative place or just whatever he does. Or he says, sometimes, look, I need to de-stress and I take this right here. Or sometimes I want to laugh and that one makes me just giggle my ass off. And he said 30, 45 minutes later, it's completely gone and I can go about like my day. It doesn't take up like a ton of time. Like I can just sit. It's like 45 minutes of relaxation and laughter and whatever, and then boom, I'm like, I never took it.
That's a guy that's seasoned. That's a veteran right there.
That's an expert.
That's why when people that are always into pot, like we had the one conversation about how driving on marijuana, and all these people were surprised how many people were defending smoking on weed.
Yeah.
Driving on weed. And those are people that smoke every day, usually. If you get a guy like Kevin that smokes a blunt and then goes out to drive, you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Your altered state's going to be way different than someone who's seasoned on pot. The guy you're talking about sounds very seasoned.
Yeah, well, I think he's got it down to an art form, and he's also very responsible with it too. And I think the thing is control.
Sure.
And with anything like that, and the one thing, unfortunately, I think sometimes with alcohol, especially when you're doing shots, I don't do shots because I like to be a controlled individual. And even with beer, sometimes I really try to pay attention to the alcohol content, and it'll get away from it because you start feeling good. You're like going, yeah, when you should be like, no, I probably should have water. You'd be like, no,
you're right.
Screw it, give me a beer. And so that a lot of times is it. And I think with anybody, with whatever you're doing, the ultimate for anyone would be like to have a very controlled environment, because we all want to. I think anybody would like to ride in that line where you're just relaxed, you feel good, you're
peaceful.
Happy. But, I don't think you shouldn't want to be either too hammered or too high to the point where, like, you can't function, you can't do anything.
You don't speak for me.
Yes, exactly. Virginia.
Who the fuck is this guy talking? Can we shut his mic off?
That's where I think weed will surpass booze when it is legalized and people get to the state where this guy that I was hanging with a week ago who really knows it and knows how to use, and he has different kinds of weed for different occasions and how he does it. And I'm like going, gosh, what a science this is. And I even saw, I think it was the state of Nevada last year, they just legalized weed and their car fatalities went down 10% since legalizing weed. Because I think that you can control weed a lot more than booze, and it's harder, I think, because I think, like I said, he puts that out, and when that's done, he doesn't necessarily have the urge to be like, oh, I got to get more weed. Something about alcohol, when you start drinking a little bit, you're like going, I need to get more fucked up. I don't know what it is.
I know.
Yeah, and I think weed sometimes is a little bit different from what people tell me, what I hear. So, it'd be nice if we could come up with something that gets people just to that level and people have the self-control. But I think you always have that situation where as soon as you start feeling good, you're going, well, if I feel this good on this much, I'm going to feel 10 times as good on double.
That's the problem.
And I just like the whole process of drinking, laughing,
social.
talking. It's very social, and it's fun, and everybody is having drinks together and talking about life.
It's good times.
And then we get some pussy.
Jess from Allentown said, I had emailed last week about the killing in the Bronx, and I listened to everybody's response, and while you guys made a lot of good points about not helping because they had weapons, was it okay that no one called the cops? At least no one at all helped him. He ran himself to the hospital a block away and still died. Love you guys. I love that we can discuss different issues here and no one takes offense, and if they do, tough shit. Yeah, I mean, I think ideally, and I think that's probably what we a lot of times all battle with is like, okay, well, if I interject myself, so much, like how much do I want to get involved here?
To the point that I can keep myself safe and help somebody else, I would absolutely want to get involved. But at the moment when I feel like, okay, if I get involved in this, now my life or my family's life is in jeopardy, I'm not getting involved.
And you just don't know what else was going on. No. You don't know if and I don't know all the details of the story. I was familiar with it, and I'm not sure if the owner even saw it. But how do you know that he even knew the guy was stabbed? Did he actually see the stabbing? He may have known, but I don't know any of the details. I wasn't there, and shit's going on like that. You have no idea how you're going to react.
And it's a split-second decision, too, and fight or flight.
It happened really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually do. And, I mean, no one's ever, they always happen in moments where you're like, what, this is
You're
happening
never prepared
now?
to get stabbed.
No.
Yeah. No, it is something. And, I mean, that's why, for anybody who is, ever at that level, one, people who are cops, military, whatever, they're trained for that kind of stuff. So they have, and the repetition, they have it and they do it so much that it kicks in. I mean, really, anybody else who's not trained for that kind of stuff, your best thing is to try to alert somebody who can get into that situation and do it, because it does. It takes a lot of training to really do it, to do it right.
My whole thing is, you always try to help somebody, but don't crucify the person, because if you don't know all the details, not everyone knows what to do in a situation like that.
No, you're right,
it's a surreal thing to see someone get stabbed in a moment, and you're like, oh my gosh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Are they coming to stab me next?
Yeah, obviously you should call the cops if you know someone's got stabbed, but for the people that say jump in and block the night, you have no idea what the fuck's happening.
No.
Well, the assailants probably fled, and then the guy that got stabbed sounds like he tried to run to the hospital. So now the store clerk's in the store by himself.
Yeah.
What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
Stitch him up?
The kids run down the street to the hospital. Like, what do you want the store clerk to do?
Well, the store clerk has no details about anything that just went down. They just know that something happened.
And now you have no power even to say to the cops, come here. You shouldn't tell them to come there. You should tell them to go look for these two individuals.
Yeah.
It just seems like everybody, and I'm not saying with the emailer is trying to do this, but it just seems like everyone's always trying to, got ya, you did it wrong. We got you on video, and you're a fuckface. It's like you don't know the details.
Right. Yeah. It's tough it's so easy when you're just sitting there to computer to be like, oh yeah, I totally blew it.
Yeah, have someone randomly get stabbed in front of you, and let's see how you handle it. Let's get 100 people and see how everybody handles that situation.
The only place where I get mad that somebody didn't do something is like that school shooting, where you've got the one armed officer on campus that holds his position outside the building and refused to go in, and he's the only guy with a gun.
Yeah.
That's where I get upset, because his job is to go in there and engage the shooter and take him out, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, you're trained for that kind of stuff. And
right.
You're
Different.
Yeah.
That guy is deserving all of the anger. But the store clerk, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and if you want to do that, even somebody like, I just recently did the concealed carry class and got my permit and all that kind of stuff.
You did? You got the actual permit?
Yeah.
He's got the permit, but no gun. He told us that already.
I know. I'm just really reiterating how pumped I am for him. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I did it. I took the class and I got it. Yeah, I don't have a gun yet. And part of it is I think even when you take that step, you have a responsibility because, I sat down. My dad has it. My dad carries at least one gun on him at all times.
And he takes it serious.
Yeah. He's watched everything. He studies it. He knows his gun inside out. He knows all the laws of how you do it and when you can use it and how. And he goes out 3 times a week and practices shooting.
Gosh, I hope if anything ever shakes down, your father is in the room.
But he takes it as a responsibility. And he doesn't drink or anything like that too. So, I mean, I would never want to have a gun on me if I had even one cocktail.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
You don't want to use any kind of poor judgment with something like that. And so it's a massive responsibility. And those are the people that I would feel if I have the concealed carry like you at those points. Now you are in a sense saying, I'm going to step up if I'm ever needed in that kind of situation. And that's where you're like going, I would have to interject myself in there because I've trained for this. I've got
You're that guy.
A tool that can, I'm too big of a pussy. So
me too.
It's a very heavy burden to be that guy. I couldn't be that guy.
It should be a burden, yeah. And so, that's I think what should go into it if you're going to be one of those people that's going to carry.
I don't know if you guys saw that one video. I forget what restaurant it was, but this waitress messed up this guy's order. He goes back in the back area and punches her in the face, knocks her down, and looks like he was going after her for some more. Her coworker pulls out a gun. She had her concealed license carry, whatever it's called. And
concealed carry, yeah.
Yeah, pointed at the guy. He still kind of wanted to do something. All of a sudden, he just backed away, and she got his ass out of there because she pulled out that gun. He was going to, if he had a chance to go out and attack more people, he would have done it.
I kind of feel like she should have shot him, at least in the foot.
But if she would have done that, she would have been arrested.
Yeah, she would have. And so you have to know the laws. And if you've got the concealed carry, you hopefully abide by the laws. You've been trained, you've done some kind of gun training, and you know exactly what situations I need to use this and when I don't. And they do greatly stress you've got now the power in your hands to take somebody's life, and so you got to be very careful with how you use it.
Because if you watch the video, she pulls it out and the guy starts to walk away, and then he turns his back, looks again.
So you can't shoot the guy when he's already retreating.
She totally
unfortunately.
She got the situation in control at that point. And I mean, I don't know much about gun laws, but I would imagine if the guy's walking away and then she shoots him.
Yeah, no, you can't. You're
that.
definitely in trouble then. And it has to be, you have to be in a position where you cannot retreat, and there's a likely feeling that your life is in danger. So if you can't say that's a criteria. Because they'll always say, you could feel like your life is in danger, but if you have an escape route to get away, you got to get away.
Now, that guy would have kept charging at them. I think you have a case, because he just laid out a woman.
Yeah, if you can't,
It looked like he knocked her out. I don't know if he knocked her. It looked like he did. I mean, her head goes back.
What an animal.
You've got this big guy coming at you.
You have a reason to believe your life's in danger,
You're
or
scared.
the life of someone else.
Totally.
And you can't do it to defend property. Like people going, they're going to steal my TV, and I told them to stop, and they wouldn't. You can't shoot them. They can come in, walk into your house, take your TV off the wall, and walk out, and you can't shoot them.
But I thought if someone walked into your house, you now are afraid.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
Florida's got the castle law. Yeah, and you know what? When Dad was telling me that, his Ohio law, I think Florida's a little bit easier, that you can defend a little bit more. He was telling me in Ohio you can't defend property.
Yeah, if someone's in your house in Florida, you can shoot them dead.
To me,
and nobody says anything.
The bottom line is this: if somebody's breaking into my house and they know that I'm in there, I assume that they have a weapon and that they're going to use it on me. I'm sorry. You break into my house, someone's going to leave hurt. Whether it's probably going to be me. In fact, I know it will be.
I was hurt before you got there.
But if they kill me, I'm going to weird them out in my last dying breath.
Oh, great strategy.
I would weird out the murderer.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, you were talking earlier, Virginia, in that one dirt story about the concert that had happened, and the guy had shown up and, had a badge, and, they're like, wait, we got to get our manager here.
Because they don't allow guns in the venue at all, even if you have a concealed carry.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
They wanted to make a special exception for him. So they said, okay, wait, if you're a cop and you got a badge, just chill here for a second. Let's go get our manager, and so we can make sure that everybody signs off on this. And the guy snuck in to the venue. He didn't wait for the manager to come back. And then they couldn't find him. Yeah. They were looking for him. So they were like, okay, we don't even know.
Because I just know that there are some... Because it's such a contested issue, people are out to prove points, and if you're legally, because there's this one video of this guy carrying a rifle, and he was in whatever state that he was in, he's walking down the street carrying the rifle. He was legal, and everyone's calling the cops on him. The cops they're showing up, and everything he was doing was in within the law.
accordance with the laws,
Totally.
yeah.
But you see somebody walking out with a rifle, how do you not?
Yeah.
See,
it's disconcerting.
It's a weird thing. You could be doing the right thing, but you're also seeing someone walk around with a rifle.
Yeah, and I think, where they're trying to get with gun laws and all that kind of stuff, too, is, if you have something like that, I mean, that's a different kind of weapon. That's why a concealed carry should be more discreet, because you don't want to freak people out in public. And if you got a rifle like that, it should be, you can a lot of times break it down, or it should be in a gun carrying case or something along those lines, so it doesn't look like you're an active shooter. You don't want to be in that kind of situation. So people are doing that, are just kind of like trying to be dicks. And people who really respect guns and gun laws and are cool about it, yeah, they'd be like going, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to freak people out. So I'm going to carry my gun the right way, and I'll have a concealed carry on me in case something goes down on the street and I need a weapon. I'm not trying to unzip my gun out of the bag.
Yeah, the guy was there to he was pro-guns, obviously, and he wanted to prove the point that you can...
But you can be pro-guns and not be a dick about it.
But he's doing it as a social experiment to get the word out. He wants to...
But again, he's like...
In his eyes, he's doing the right... In his eyes, he thinks he's doing the right thing. And that's the problem we're having
But you got to understand that most people don't fully understand that way. And honestly, for me, I'm a guy that is... I believe in the Second Amendment. You should be allowed to carry guns the right way.
Of course.
And you should have the right kind of guns legalized. That, yeah, I'd be like going, dude, come on. Really?
Stop being a dummy.
Well, you're just kind of trying to be a... You're trying to be a...
peacock.
Yeah.
Well, you are trying to make a point. But then gun owners will say... Our point needs to be made because people are trying to take away our gun.
Sensible gun owners, I think, who are just cool people, would be like going, no, that realistically, people who are not familiar with guns and whatever. And I would say probably even sensible gun owners would be like going, that would be alarming to me. Seeing a guy walking down Clematis Street
with a rifle.
I'm going to be very much on guard.
You don't know this guy's state of mind.
Right.
Well, I just don't... It's not normal.
Why do it?
I don't see it every day. I don't see
The only reason you're doing it is to push buttons. Like, if you're saying, what is your motive? It's not to protect yourself. It's not that you're going hunting. You're not at a gun range. You are out there trying to agitate and trying to get people upset. Why do you need to walk through life trying to just upset people for absolutely no reason?
There's so many of those kind of videos.
Other ways to get your point across.
There's the one dude.
They're dicks.
He does videos.
That's exactly it. They're dicks.
They're just dicks.
You know how Walmart will stop?
You have to be that way.
And check your bag and all that. This guy goes out and does videos where he goes to Walmart's and he'll buy all this stuff, and they'll go, "Hey, sir, we need to see your receipt." No, I know my rights. And it'll be a 20-minute video of him arguing with the Walmart people.
What the hell? I mean, really, do you have nothing better to do?
He does, and then he'll go on, guys, I'm doing this to show you your rights. Know your rights.
Ay. Just show the chick your receipt. She's there to make sure that they're not doing a bunch of loss of their inventory. That person has a job.
He married a woman that's like, yeah, babe, you tell him. No, you hear her
she's a part of the problem.
You hear her in the background. You know your rights, babe.
Dummies.
Stupid.
So stupid.
Yeah, Ryan G in the chat room said, it doesn't matter if you have an escape route or not. You can still shoot to protect yourself, even if the bad guy is running away and off your property. You can still shoot. If that's the case, then that's different than Ohio law. And then Dad had told me, he said, if somebody's retreating off your property, you can't shoot them in the back. So that's Ohio, and maybe Florida's that liberal that with their law that you can do that and shoot somebody as they're fleeing. To me, I don't fully understand that, but I mean, if you use a gun to try to repel force is really, to me, the responsible use of a gun. You have a gun so you don't have to use it.
Kind of like karate. Mr. Miyagi taught us that.
That's right.
Learn your defense so you don't have to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for it to be done well. Yeah, I think that's just with anything. With all the problems that we've got going on in our society today, if people just be just hashtag be cool. There's an easy...
It's social media.
There's an easy middle ground of how we can solve all this. We don't have to be dicks to try to get our point across.
Everybody can go live now and make a name for themselves. It doesn't matter. Like I told you about that one uncle that I have who should not be doing anything. I don't think he should even vote. He's fucking insane. And anyone's got the power to do that. So you have all these Johnny-come-latelys. I'm gonna press the buttons. Look at me, Walmart motherfuckers.
80% of the issues that we have that we're fighting so desperately about today, there is a sensible middle ground that if we just would calm ourselves for a second, it would easily settle down into something that makes complete sense for everyone. And we'd all walk away happy.
Fuck you, fuck Walmart.
We'd all walk away happy. But people are just so about making a point just being dicks.
I know you guys think I'm crazy. I swear it's because of social media. I do. The fact that everybody can post shit up and go live now with everything is insane.
It is insane. It is insane. One last stat that I'm sure my dad would like for me to interject. I have to check his sources, but he gave it to me. I don't have it right now. Is he's one of those big proponents for there are places where you can't, carry your gun, and he doesn't, but he gets nervous in those areas, and he points out it's like 90+% of all the fatal shootings that have happened in America happen in a place where you can't carry a gun.
Oh.
And he says, obviously, the people who are going to kill people are not going to abide by a sign. Like I said earlier, let me go put it in the car then.
Yeah.
He makes a good point.
And then people who are responsible, and you should feel good. If there are people around you that are cool-headed, responsible, know their weapon, you want those people around you. You're going to feel more confident and comfortable saying, I've got people in here with guns that are not dicks and they know how to use it, and they're sober individuals that are going to take care of anybody that comes in here with a gun. You want that.
Like a Drew Ralston.
You want my dad with you. Yeah. Having my dad around is a good, comforting thing.
I'd feel good with you with a gun. I think you'd puss out most of the time, but it would be nice to have, like, just,
yeah. And
you're not a hothead.
I'm right now at that point where I don't know that I want the responsibility. So
it's a big burden because now you don't get to have no beers.
Oh, well, and exactly. I would cut down on how much I drank. I would be like my dad. I'd have to go out and always be practicing and this and that to make sure that if I got it, and my dad always worries. He says the thing you got to be worried about is oftentimes you've got secondary targets that you don't want to shoot that person there.
Right.
Or you got to know your ammo. Like there's a certain kind of bullet, like a hollow point will stop and explode inside the person you hit it with. You don't want to use a different kind of bullet that'll go through. So you could have an innocent bystander behind your target, and then how bad would you feel if you wound up shooting a little girl?
Horrifying.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you got to know.
You know a lot, man. He gets new hair, and now this new gun thing. He's a new man.
The whole time my dad was here, it was gun tutorial 101. So.
Well, I just think that maybe you are a man now.
I think he's finally become a man.
He's become a man. All this time you were growing, but now you're a man.
Well, let's just analyze 2018 real quick.
10 years before death, I became a man.
2018, he gets new hair. All of a sudden, he got laid in 2018.
Yeah.
Now motherfuckers carrying guns and shit.
Better late than never.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to be a man? I would love to know.
Feels good.
I'm still in puberty myself.
You have hair, though. Look at that.
Oh, I have crow's feet, and I'm still in puberty.
Got an email here about traveling to North Alabama. We're traveling to see my parents in North Alabama and listening live on the KVJ Show YouTube through the After the Show podcast, too, as well.
Ugh, why would you go to North Alabama? I used to live there.
They said there's no other show like yours. You put on another local station while traveling and instantly wanted to vomit on how terrible the other broadcasts are in the morning. Thanks for keeping us entertained. We're spoiled in Palm Beach to have you guys.
Oh, that's a sweet thing to say.
That is very nice.
That is.
And P.S. Jason is looking good, thinning out. Your hair looks amazeballs, and Virginia always looks great. Go fuck yourself, Jaybird. We love you guys. Don Henry, not Don Henley. So.
That's the best name ever.
Don Henry. Don Henry.
Yep. All right, there you go. Thank you all for listening in. Any comments, anything you want to add to it, just send us an email, mail at kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.